Okay, I've waited long enough. I'm sick and tired of waiting. It's time to start cutting some shit out of here. So I'm gonna start over here. This nastiness. Sorry for the half light, half dark. That's how my lights work right now. I'm gonna cut out a lot of this. So let's get cracking. Something to keep in mind when cutting these floorboards is this frame rail right here is attached to it. I don't think it's welded. It's actually like a seam sealer or something, but there's also this brake line that's right next to it, so I got to be careful with that. Also, I'm trying to get better about wearing PPE or personal protective equipment. Got a respirator, got my trusty headphones here, and gloves and glasses. So here's the progress I've made so far. Here's a frame rail I'm slowly rolling up. The last bit of the sheet metal I'm probably going to cut for tonight. There's still more to cut out. However, I'm going to wait till the floor pans get here, supposedly on Monday, I think, just to see exactly how large they are and how much will be covered. But I still clearly need to cut out some of this. So all I'm doing now is taking some channel locks, grabbing it a bit at a time, bending it back, and it'll snap these little welds. And then I just start rolling it. What do you think of my new floors? I'm going with the maximal airflow possible, you know, keep me cool. Yeah, I got the floors out. There's a frame rail. Like I said before, it's not done yet, of course, but look at the sheet metal started to bend up. Wow. Thankfully, this is solid. Right here, I started to cut into it. Sadly, that was my fault, I think, but I can pound that down, reinforce some of it. I'll have to hammer and dolly a little bit of it, or just bend them back. As I was bending the metal, you know, the edges start to bend some too. I don't think that'll show very well, but anyways, that's out and really thrilled. On to this one. I think I might save that for tomorrow. I'm not going to cut as much over here, I don't think, because overall the floor is decently solid. There's, you know, little holes, a few here and there, and then of course the bad section over there is what I'm really worried about, and then right on this corner. But I don't know if it's worth replacing the whole darn thing when most of it looks like this. This one, on the other hand, had to go. It was weak metal, and it needed to go badly. Still need to address that corner, but that will come. I'm thrilled to get this done. Well, I'm glad I didn't cut any more than I did. See that piece up there with the sheet metal cut? That's the cross member support. And it's on the other side too, where it has rust on the floor pans. That has to be cut too, so wow, glad I didn't start cutting that more. I'll need to get the jack under there just to ensure it doesn't go kaput and fall down as I'm cutting. So yeah, that was a good catch. I have this in-tank fuel pump unit here all disassembled and in the house with my soldering iron all warmed up, or at least it should be. I need to desolder that piece of wire right in the middle there so I can solder in a brand new nice looking wire. So let's get started. It's heating it up, so that's good. There we go. And there's the old wire. And let's get this somewhat in focus. Now I need to clean up that contact area and put a new wire on. Next, I put on the new pump with the original connecting hose. It's still in good shape. Might use a different one, but just for test fitting reasons and to see how long of a wire I need. And I got this piece of wire, something I had laying around. It's a good gauge and it should do the trick nicely, but I'm going to strip this end and then attach it to where I need, cut it to length so that I have plenty to attach to one of these terminals. Now that I have the wire cut, I'm going to add some solder to the end of the wire and to the end of the terminal in there, and then mend them or solder them both together. It should be a good strong connection, and put some heat shrink over top. And after adding solder to the wire and the connector, here's what I have after placing the two together and adding heat. Nice, good connection. No, it's not pretty, but it is strong. So let's add some heat shrink and call it a day. I think I'm going to tackle this sunroof here. I need to pull this forward a little bit so I can pull down a panel. They're like clips, and then I can actually get to the sunroof itself and pull this whole thing out and replace the entire seal. You can see part of it that's left here. I already pulled most of it, so let's get to that. So I've got this part, the cover, these little clips out from there. And now I need to get these bolts out of here, these screws I should say, so I can get the whole thing off. Well, that cover was a pain in the ass to get out. Ruined it pretty good. This is all messed up now, but it's in poor shape anyways. But I read a guide and everything, and it would not come out nicely, so I just had to kind of force it out. Looked like I end up bending a little bit of the sheet metal up here, which sucks. But all right, now I gotta take these off on each side. Undo these two, take those out, undo the special screw there, undo the special screw there, take these two out. Okay, I got the screws all loose and it's popped up. Now I need to push up on this and kind of wiggle it to get it up and out. Let's take a look here. I'm going to take my time, don't want to damage anything too bad. There we go. Okay, that side's out. It's good. And so is that. And there is the sunroof. Cool. Well, I'm not thrilled that I kind of damage this. It's gonna take some time to straighten this cover out, as it is flimsy, but I don't see any other way I could have really done it. Maybe I could have pulled it forward better. I'm not sure. These are some weird like trailing arms that kind of hook up here, I believe. Something in here. So I know I bent one of them, so hopefully I didn't damage it too bad. Not real worried about that. Here's the sunroof. I got the rest of the old seal off. It is very old, flaking off, cracking. And here is the sunroof. Guess I have it sitting on some like plastic stuff, cardboard I should say. I took it off. I'm gonna clean up all these edges, make sure it's nice and clean, and eventually put the new seal that I have on it over there. So just like I did the floorboards over here with that metal concrete prep stuff that I like, I put some of that on the edge of this sunroof on the backside and on the edges where there was some rust, just as a preventative measure. I'll give it a whole day and come back, make sure it's all clean and dried off, and probably hit it with just some rust reformer, just for peace of mind, I guess. And then I will install the new seal. Wallace and Netsch, BMW, one-piece unit here. So then that should be good to go back in. Okay, I've ground or cut away some more metal over here. And then I started to grind down this frame rail here because I had tack welds on it, and that needs to be nice and smooth. Now what's next is to kind of hammer and dolly it back flat a little bit, because as I was ripping up the old sheet metal or the floorboard, it was kind of pulling the actual frame rail up too. So just grabbing a hammer and an old head of a copper mallet I have. Let's get to work. Actually, I think this side is fine after feeling it and looking at it. I'll come back in here real quick with the grinding wheel and just kind of make sure everything's pretty smooth. But it looks to be where I want it. That's awesome. So here's the floor pans I got from Wallace and Netsch, or wallachnetsch.com in Germany. This is the passenger side. So I'm going to take this and bring it in here and just kind of look. I know it's much bigger than what I've cut out, which is good. But I just want to kind of see what I'm dealing with and how much to cut. I need to cut more right in the front here where the firewall is. These two like overlap, and then seam sealer. I've never done this before, so I'm really green to all this. You know, this is the real problem area I'm concerned with. But I can construct anything I really need to. I have some extra steel too. And I think it's going to be harder if I just leave this piece in, even though it's good metal. I may just have to cut the whole thing out and make it a nice kind of square in here, so I can transfer that template to here and go from there. So let's take a look. This is kind of the best angle I can get right now with my phone on top of the open sunroof. So sorry, I know it's not the best. I need to get like a nice little phone mount or something so I can put it wherever I want. But let's put that pan in. I took some measurements, and this little section here is about 1 1/4, 1 1/4. From all the way back here to all the way up front. Here is 29 1/4. So I'm going to transfer some of that over here, make a mark from like measuring here to there or something to find 1 1/4 to where it just starts to bend down, and then see kind of how far it goes up. I'm getting roughly, this is kind of hard to do one-handed. Let's see, put it up with that. Mark. I'm getting roughly, it's hard to show, 29 1/4 is right where that seam is that runs across. So where the floor pan kind of meets the tunnel, the transmission tunnel, and the firewall. That means, I'm cutting it close, but I need to cut all this stuff out. It's still, I need to tear it out. So I'm gonna, I guess, probably cut right here at the seam, maybe just ease into it. And over here, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do there. Probably cut out some stuff, make a patch for that specifically, and then put the floor pan on. I've been grinding away for a little bit now, and here are the results so far. I'm just trying to clean up some stuff so I can see what's going on here. Like I said before, this is my biggest area of concern. This is the rocker, and it's very good condition up until this point. And the metal around it, even that stuff is decently solid. I was banging on it with a hammer. But honestly, I don't know how far the metal here, the rocker panel metal, extends out this way, and how much of this is the actual floorboard, especially this little corner piece thing. I think it's part of just the firewall in the floor pan. Excuse me. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do quite yet. As you see the seam right here, and that's, I need to cut up past that, honestly, for some of it. And a little corner piece came off. It was kind of loose. As you can see, I'm moving it by hand right now. Everything else is solid. I cut into the frame rail a little bit before. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Stay put, I guess, and we'll see what's going on. Man, I hate dealing with rust, I'll be honest. It sucks. And this is not just rust, it's rot. Well, good time to learn new skills. So that's why I got a welder, and that's why I got floor pans. But anyways, what I'm gonna do here on this driver's side, I got a Sharpie. I'm gonna mark out the area of what I think I'm gonna cut, what I think I'm gonna keep. Roughly where this is, right about there, and come over to here or so and walk my way up and cut most of that out, I think. The rest of the floor pan is decently solid. This is thin to some degree, but it's not bad. But it does have all these little, a couple little holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All through here. And that is still solid, which is so odd. But I don't know. I might just kind of loosely patch this. It might be a perfect candidate for the resin and fiberglass, which I will do on some areas. It's a good, strong repair if you do it properly, and prevents you from having to cut and weld and, you know, possibly mess with stuff. I don't know, because remember, right below here is one of the transmission mounts. This sucker. So weird that it's just connected to sheet metal to me, but I don't know. There's got to be more to it than that. Maybe there is. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. That's not the transmission mount. what kind of it is. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I say that a lot in these videos, but it's true. I'm just being real. I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly. I'm not as worried about back here. I can deal with this. I need this to go away. I need this to be solid. So yeah, let's mark out some stuff, and then I may or may not start cutting. And there's the rough cutout. Now let's take a look and see what I can do with this side, if I'm going to cut this out or not. And that might be a wrap for tonight. I am glad I cut this out, because take a look at the rocker. Pretty rough in some areas, but I think I got it right where I really need to, absolutely have to. So I'll cut more of this out, make it nice. But yeah, cut that section out, which was the most critical. Need to get that little patch there and some other little things. The rest can wait for another day. Well, good morning. It's Sunday here, and I'm in the shop, of course, and working on the E21, pulling fuel lines. I was thinking I might try and actually put the tanks on and the fuel pump and all that good stuff, but after pulling these lines, especially this one, I didn't think I would have to replace this. It goes in the car underneath there and to the fuel pump, and then up to the fuel line. It is cracked, and although the thing that really matters is the inner section, I'm not sure I'm going to run this. I think it would be just fine, honestly, but while I'm doing this and it's easy to access, this is the time to replace stuff. Also, I'm probably just going to go to O'Reilly's and grab some hose that kind of fits and looks to be similar size to this, because I need a good bit of this for this like Y pipe thing that I bought. I bought a new one of these because clearly it cracked that, but I'm trying to replace what I can while I have easiest access to all this. And here's new brake hose I got from O'Reilly's. I tried to match it as best as I could to the original size, which is, I believe, 12 millimeters. Some of this breather hose. And this one right here actually looked closer in size to this original one here. But the original from the part schematic that I saw says 6 millimeters. This is 4, so I don't know. I don't really understand, but let's test fit it and see how it works. I got everything here that I pretty much need to get the external fuel pump, pressure accumulator, and filter all assembled. I just need to look at a few pictures to remind myself kind of reference points and exactly how things are aligned, and I'll get to putting this thing together. I ran across my first issue putting this together. So this is the old pump, the new one, and the pressure accumulator. I have everything kind of plumbed and just in place. As you see, the old one has just a barb fitting for the gas to go out. This has, the newer Bosch one, has this kind of end. So I need to find an adapter piece, I guess, that goes in there, that moves to like a barb piece. Shouldn't be too awfully hard, but you never know. So I ran into another small issue that I should be able to remedy, but I thought I would show you. Hooking up this new fuel filter here, there's the old one. You can tell how much shorter it is. It's supposed to sit in this little bracket with like a rubber bushing and clamped on. Well, if I were to get it where it needs to be, which is over a little bit more, see if I turn this, and it just does that. So whereas the long one fit perfectly and it was right where that pipe needed to be, this one does not. So I'm going to have to gently put a little heat to this pipe and bend it a bit to make this fit properly. So after doing some research, as I usually have to do during little jobs here, Looking at reference pictures, first off, the filter, the arrow was pointing that way on my old filter here, which was incorrect for the flow, so it was kind of confusing me. I had to take a look at it, and the arrow is the way the fuel flows. So comes in through here, comes out of the fuel pump into the pressure accumulator, out into the filter, out there and back towards the engine. That's the flow. So I got that dialed in. This fuel pump will require an adapter, which kind of sucks because this one has the barb end, this does not. It's an M14 by 1.5 thread, and I believe I'll need a M12 barb. So I did a little quick search, and you can find all that on eBay or Amazon, so I think I'm going to order one.